just a rivalry. It's a way of life. Welcome to War Eagle Roll Tide.
Good evening, War Eagle.
Roll Tide.
And welcome to the Not So Serious Show for the serious fan. Joining us here tonight in studio, and we promised y'all it was going to happen, and I think they laughed at us, T-Bone. I think they laughed at us. But Coach Tommy Tuberville in, good enough to be barnstorming down in South Alabama, made a few moments for us, and Coach, we're glad you're here and made some time in your schedule for us.
It just shows you I can be bought.
Tell me this.
I just had catfish dinner on you, I think. Did you pay for that?
I'll settle up with Josh later.
Okay.
How was it, by the way?
It was really good. You know, I used to have a catfish restaurant called Tubby's Catfishing Inn in Tullahoma, Tennessee.
How long did you have that business going?
Well, I started it and I let my sister run it. She ran it in the ground. You never can trust family.
Yeah.
It's just how it works.
Well, we've been doing this podcast throughout the season, starting the preseason, and we've tried to bring some interesting personalities to the show. Tony mentioned to kick off the show, we had Harvey Updike. And, of course, he's back in the news for all the wrong reasons again, and we may get into a little bit of that later on. But with you, and, of course, once again, so gracious to take time out of your busy schedule, and we want to get the endeavors you have ongoing a little bit later. But we like to celebrate the Iron Bowl here. We have a lot of fun taking jabs at each other, and we make fun of the schools as we can. But at the end of the day, we love to celebrate, what it is. And I think, being in the state and having two teams like that, it makes it more fun for all of us. And the first question I'd like to ask you is, when you took the job at Auburn, I'm sure you had heard about it and maybe had some idea of what to expect. What was it when you got into it, and how did it compare to what you thought it would be?
Well, my first experience with the Iron Bowl was 1989.
Okay.
I was a defensive coordinator at the University of Miami, and with Dennis Erickson. We'd already finished. We were undefeated, 12-0, and we were going to play Alabama because they'd already won the SEC by the end of the year, but they had an Iron Bowl. Bill Curry was the coach. And so me being a defensive coordinator, Dennis Erickson said, why don't you just go to the game, kind of scout it, see what you think. We already know we're going to play Alabama. So I showed up for the game, first time ever in Auburn, and that was an experience.
Oh, yes, it was.
Let me pull this just a little bit closer, Coach. They're saying they're having a little hard time hearing you.
People back and forth and talking to each other, but there's nothing like it. I've coached Miami Notre Dame games. I've coached Miami Florida State, Texas A&M Texas, Egg Bowl. There's nothing quite like the atmosphere, and the atmosphere starts during the week. People start rolling in about Tuesday, and if you're the home team, it's pretty rough if you're the home team because you got to put up as a coach and players with all the people that want to get into practice and all those kind of things. But it's a fun time, and it's as much about the surrounding atmosphere before, during, and after the game than it is just the football game itself.
Well, let me ask you this, Coach, and T-Bone, I'm going to defer to you in just a minute. And, of course, to be fair to the viewing audience, what is a memory of two that you remember when a game went Auburn's way, and what would be one or two when we were on the short end of the stick that might still be with you?
There wasn't many of those when he was there.
The good old days.
I can remember 2000, first time in 100 years Auburn had played in Tuscaloosa. It was actually 100 years. And we weren't a very good football team. We were decent. I think we'd won 9 games, but a lot of the games had been close. Mississippi State had beat us pretty bad during the year. That was one of Jackie Sherrill's better teams. But we were playing Alabama there. And I can remember we stayed in Birmingham the night before the game. And we're bussing over, left about 3 o'clock. And it was a day about like we have here today. Raining, sleeting, and cold. And I can remember sitting on front of that bus, and the sleet was sitting in front of the bus. And it's one of those things that, we just, it's kind of like a dream going over time, but it was a typical Iron Bowl. It was a fist fight, and we ended up kicking 3 field goals, no touchdown scored, and we won the game. But it was a fun experience knowing that it's been 100 years since Auburn had been over there. Unfortunately, at the end of the game, we win the game, and I'm standing there, we're fired up, I'm just soaking wet, froze, and SID walked up and said, well, congratulations. The only game we'd been run off the field that year was Steve Spurrier's Florida team. They were really good. They eventually won the national championship, but to play them in the championship game, Mississippi State had to lose to a bad Arkansas team. Well, it happened.
Yeah.
And SID walked over and says, Coach, good, congratulations on the game. Unfortunately, you got another one next week against Steve Spurrier again. And he beat the heck out of it again. So a lot of good experiences, a lot of good memories. Cornell Williams scoring on the first play of the game in 2003. Remember that?
Yeah, Coach. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really outnumbered in here tonight. Usually I'm outnumbered, but now
Let me
it's
tell you
2
something.
to 1. I know it's hard.
no, it's 4-1.
Coach.
I'm assuming
Coach.
Tripp's.
He's
You're from Mobile, okay?
He's never
It's
outnumbered.
3-2.
We could have 80,000 in here, and if he was the one, trust me, he wouldn't be outnumbered.
Maybe in a chicken eating contest, but yeah. Anyway, so let me ask this: was the thumb spontaneous?
It was just,
Coach, lean in just a little bit on the mic. Having a hard time catching. I'm sorry.
you told me these were
I thought they
very
were.
hot.
Well, they are.
You know?
Yeah. Well,
You can't trust.
Tony's probably sabotaging what he's probably done. He's probably pinched off a wire or crimped it.
They look store bought, or the homemade. What was the question?
Was the thumb spontaneous?
It was very, when you never dream of winning 2 in a row, much less, there's many as we,
Yeah.
so as we're going through it, we're counting them down, and we just kept going, and I came up with the fear of the thumb and Tiger Walk. We're walking down Tiger Walk, and
Hold on one second, Coach. Let's do this. I think we might have a technical difficulty. Just use mine.
Well, you're not going to hear him because
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, use mine. There we go.
All right.
is that better?
I think that's better.
And next time I come, I can bring y'all a microphone.
Yeah, no, I don't think you're talking into it right, Coach. There you
I'm
go.
not. You want me to get way down?
There you go.
practice.
Now we're doing something.
Gotta practice.
Now we're doing something.
Is that it?
That's
Yes,
it.
sir.
All
There you go.
right. All right.
So fear the thumb.
Fear of the thumb was just spontaneous, walking down Tiger Walk, and everybody's hollering 4. Let's get the number 5, and it just came out. Hey, fear of the thumb.
I thought it was great. I mean, I'm a big Alabama fan, but I thought it was kind of great.
I was David Jennings, and I approved of that message.
It was.
I was for that.
Well, let me tell you this, Coach. Your coaching ability was the creation of a lot of aggravation for me for a lot of years with this guy, because we had a text group going, and I'm sure you've heard all the stories. And we're not the only people in the world that have friends that on both sides of the fences who have text groups going and
Right.
during the season. And when that Iron Bowl came around during your years there, I got really, really nervous about checking my email and my text because I knew what I was going to be getting from this guy over there. So I just want to say, my stress, my doctor bill, I think I'm going to send it to your campaign headquarters and let y'all pay for it. I wish we could have got you over to Alabama during those years.
That was, that people ask me about that game, and is it fun? It's really not even fun for a coach. And here's why: because you feel the weight of all your fans.
Yeah.
Alabama's coach and Auburn's coach all week long, because if you win the game, you got bragging rights. But if you lose the game as a coach, you got to drive around for 365 days with a hat on with sunglasses, so you're not recognized. And it's that bad, to be honest with you. But that was a fun series, and all good things come to an end. And unfortunately, I was able to get y'all Nick Saban. And
Thanks, Coach.
You did. You did.
Tell you what.
You know what?
well, he's
Tell you
turned
what.
in to be a pretty good coach. I
Yeah,
recommended him.
he's
Thanks, Coach.
that is one good thing that come out of that. I mean,
Yeah.
you were 6 for 10. Is that right?
7.
7 for 10.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me shortchange any.
Math isn't his thing, Coach.
Yeah. Let me tell you, one win in the
17.
Iron Bowl
Yeah,
is a lot of wins.
that's a lot of
Just one
Yeah.
win. When I took the job at Auburn, I'll never forget this. I'm sitting in the Auburn University Hotel, and we're sitting talking about the contract, and Jimmy Sexton sitting there, and we're going back and forth, and it ended up pretty good, obviously. But I was told very quickly, you have to win your share of the Iron Bowl. Whether nothing else matters unless you win your share of the Iron Bowl. I mean, that's straight up. You can go 11-1, and that won't hold you around very long unless you win your share of them. And so I was able to do a pretty decent job.
No, you did more than a decent job. Like I told you, it was heartburn city for me.
I'll tell you one of the things that I would notice, and I think you could say this about Coach Saban, and I'm going to say this about you in this instance, is the wins are important. That's what you're there to do, is coach football and win football games, and that has to happen. But the bigger, more long-lasting impact is the effect you have on the people that are there while you have them for the 4 or 5 years. And if you look at the guys you had, I'm going to reference the 2014, the national championship team, all those guys made it away from the football field in life. And you and your coaching staff had to have had a big influence. And I want you to speak to how proud you are when you see them doing well. Like, you can look from the 2014, Travis Williams is on the coaching staff at Auburn. Cadillac Williams is on the coaching staff. Ronnie Brown's part of the game day broadcast. Jason Campbell's helped out there. But Jason Torbord, DeMarco McNeil, Courtney Taylor, all of them, Ben Grubbs, we talked about him earlier. All those guys went on and were able to transition into life and become productive people, good daddies, good husbands. And I know that has to be, in many ways, make you feel better than just getting it done on Saturday.
That's what you're in it for. You hope the wins come, but it's about building a program, and it's about building young people that believe in what they're doing, but also understand how to get along with other people. And I've been around a lot of good football teams, and not any of them, win or lose, what I'd taken for anybody else is because we all seem to build good chemistry around that team. But to win in 2004 was amazing, absolutely amazing. I didn't have to coach that year. Those seniors led that team. I mean, and that's what you want to get it to.
Yeah.
It's in college football, and Nick has done this. You build your team from the ground up, and you build them for the future, and it's built with a lot of different people, and you build it every day. Mm-hmm. And people ask me about the Iron Bowl. I said, listen, we talk about the Iron Bowl 365 days. We recruit to win the Iron Bowl. We coach to win the Iron Bowl. We do everything that we possibly can every day in terms of, will this help us win the game the Saturday after Thanksgiving? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's how important that game is. And so the character aspect of it is just as much part of it, because you want to win it with a good team, but a team that plays together. But to me, that's what coaches do. They put a team together. They build it from the ground up, and they build them with character within, and everything else takes care of itself. I see so many teams that have a lot of good athletes, and they never can get off the ground because it's not built on anything other than athletic ability. It's got to start somewhere else. And every team that I was ever around, and not because of me, but the coaches, it all starts with your assistant coaches building it with team character, with the positions that they coach.
Quality people.
Exactly.
Which translates to business, which translates to Washington, where you're going, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But got to have quality people.
Can you take 1 second? A friend of mine is celebrating a birthday today, and she's a Bammer. Could you wish a happy birthday to Tracy Crawford?
Tracy Crawford, we want to wish you a happy birthday. And my God, girl, was you born on Halloween?
Halloween.
Yeah. Congratulations. I don't think I know anybody.
Yeah, you do.
Born on Halloween.
Yes, you do.
Who?
Nick Saban.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Today's his birthday.
Wow.
Hey, Nick, happy birthday to you, by the way.
He's waiting. By the way, he watches.
I'm glad he's 10 years older than me. I think he's about 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how old he is, but he's a few years older than me, and he always will be. I always told him that.
I want to get your thoughts on a couple of things that are going on now in college football, and I know we're jumping around a little bit. That's what we do here. The transfer portal. Auburn is having an issue with it now, and of course, it's it's happening every week. What does that do to a coach in terms of managing a roster, how you handle the team, the dynamics, the chemistry you work so hard to get? And I'm not passing blame, is it right or is it wrong, but it is an issue. And how's this going to play out going forward?
We're teaching kids to quit. That's what we're doing.
Exactly what I said, Coach.
Yeah, we're teaching them to quit. We're making it easy. And I always tell players, and they come in to me, Coach, I'm disappointed. I'm not getting to play. And
I said, listen, nobody's got anything against you. You got to beat the guy out in front of you. That's the way it is. And this world was built on being competitive, and it makes everybody else better. And there's some that I've understood over the years, and I'm probably in the long run for the 5th year senior that's not starting. Coach, I want to go somewhere where I can be a starter.
Yeah.
I can understand that. Yes. I really can. And it gives them a chance to get on the field. But for a freshman or for a sophomore to come in, I'm not getting enough playing time, I'm transferring, because I've always said this, it's very hard to quit the first time. The second time, it's easy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so when you get in that rhythm, so many times I've seen kids transfer and it not work out. And then what do you do? But the transfer portal, I don't like it, because either transfer before the season or after the season, but not during the season. You shouldn't have the ability to come out and say, well, I'm done. I'm going to go somewhere else, after this season. Don't quit on your teammates. I mean, it's not about you. It's about the entire team. And so what we've done is we've created an atmosphere where it's easier for kids to blame everybody else other than themselves. And that's who they need to look in the mirror at. Look at yourself. I'll tell you one thing. There ain't a coach out there that's not going to play the best player, because you get hired and fired for winning and losing games. And they're going to play the best one.
Yeah.
Well, I just wonder what it does to you from a recruiting standpoint. And you know better than we do that recruiting is a year's process, not a year, it's years. And you kind of set up your roster, you look at what you have, and if you're not, and I'm going to use Auburn as the most recent example, you think your quarterback room is set, and you may or may not be actively recruiting a good high school quarterback, and then all of a sudden a young man has a bad day, one good reason, bad reason, whatever, it doesn't matter. He's gone, and here you are in November, the calendar's fixing to turn to November. Who can you realistically get on at this point in the game and get to come to your school and sign a letter of intent in February?
Yeah,
that's pretty hard.
Yeah, it's an amazing situation. It really is. And I always try to have 5 quarterbacks on scholarship. And of course, having 5 meaning you're going to have 1 graduate. Then you bring 1 in, and you kind of stay in line and try to beat the 3 or 4 guys out in front of you. I mean, that's what it's about. But you can't do that anymore. Look at Auburn. I don't. Do they have anybody behind Patrick Nix? I haven't looked at the.
They do.
They do.
Yeah.
They got Cord Sandberg, who is 25.
Yeah, something
20,
like that.
Played baseball. One of these guys that played baseball for years and years and years, and he's QB2. He's 1 snap away from being the guy.
Wow.
Because he lost Malik Willis at the end of spring. He wanted an opportunity to go play, and then of course we've lost Joey, and now all of a sudden a room full of scholarship quarterbacks is not there anymore.
Yeah, they have people there, but they're not prepared.
I think the part that doesn't sit well with me, and I agree with what you said in terms of if you've paid your dues and you're there as a graduating senior or a 5th year senior and you want to play, well wishes, go get it.
Because you got to have your degree to do that.
Sure.
You can't leave unless you graduate.
Sure. But I don't see how you work with your teammates and how you pay the price all during the off season and you do the 5 o'clock workouts, whatever's asked of them. I don't see how you walk out of the locker room on them. I mean, that doesn't sit well with me.
It's because it's become a me mentality, and you probably saw that evolve even during your time over.
It's changed.
I could not do that. I could not be a recruiter because I think I'd just be too.
The kids, and you want to be nice, you want to be fair to them, but you're also signing for a commitment to play at a university. Now, used to be it was a 1-year scholarship. Now it's 4 years.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah, it's guaranteed. When you sign a scholarship now, if you're run off the team, your scholarship is still paid.
Oh.
Okay, now if you quit, it's not. But it is a 4-year commitment, so it's all about getting education.
So does that scholarship still count against you, even though that guy's not there?
Yes, sir. It counts against you. Once you sign them, they're yours. And that's the reason you can only sign 25. Used to, you could go sign 30, and if 4 or 5 of them didn't make their grades, you couldn't bring them at 25 in. But it's you own them. You own them. And
I did not realize that.
Yeah, and
I thought it was still year to year.
No, it's changed, but there's so many things that change in college. You want to change it for the best of the athlete. And I do want to say that. You want to give them the opportunity to get that degree and make it all work for them and give them every opportunity. Now they get all the food they want to eat, all the supplements, everything's free. You get, room, board, books. They all get from $500 to $1,000 a month. It's called a COA, cost of attendance. That's cash in their hand, first of every month, non-taxable. A lot of the kids that don't have parents or low-income parents get $3,000 to $5,000 a semester cash in their pocket from the federal government called a grant each semester. So you've got kids that are making $20,000, $25,000 non-taxable cash in their pocket. We were bringing in financial guys to help them invest that money.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of money. You don't have any bills, and you're getting that much
Everything's
money.
paid for, yeah.
So everybody asks, well, don't you think we ought to pay players? Wait, they're getting a lot of money. Well, you want to give them?
I didn't know that.
Well, speaking of that, you were on Fox recently, last night, I believe, right?
Yeah, about 3 days ago.
And they brought up the, I guess, player likeness.
Player likeness, getting the money, yeah.
And do you think that's going to be the first step to evolve into a pay-for-play for college players?
Well, as I just said, how much more money we're going to give them. Here's the deal. If you're on scholarship at Auburn and you got 600 scholarship athletes, it's not just football. It's everybody. So you're talking about several $1 million that you're paying out to athletes cash a year above and beyond the scholarship that you have to pay. Everybody thinks that you got 85 scholarships. Well, that comes out of your budget. The university don't give you anything. I mean, you still got to pay that scholarship.
Is that standard from state to state? I mean, is that standard through the NCAA, or is it a state-to-state thing? My daughter, the stipends. But my daughter was recruited in softball, and Florida schools all could offer a lot different than what Alabama schools could offer. It's different.
It's called COA, cost of attendance, and they figure it out depending on how much the scholarship costs and worth. I don't know. There's some formula. Okay. For instance, at Florida, the scholarship now it's got to be full scholarship. If you're full scholarship, you might get $750 a month. If you're at Alabama, you might get $650. Now, how they come up with that, it goes through the administration, it goes through your registrar's office, you people that deal with the money. Coaches don't have anything to do with it. Okay. It comes from a straight formula, but there's a lot more that these players get than what people think. Then you get all free health care, dental, your insurance is paid for, and it's a pretty good job. I would say yearly, the money they get's probably worth from $60,000 to $75,000 a year.
Wow.
Yeah, non-taxable.
Wow.
Yeah.
My fear is this, with this talk now of pay for likeness, that once you open that door, it's going to get kicked open wider because there's money involved and there's going to be people involved and there's going to be greed involved. I don't want it to evolve till it becomes, we get with the transfer portal and the money, that becomes almost a free agent situation. Because then you're going to lose the gist, and I think you're going to lose the passion of what college football is really about.
Amateurism. Well, you're an amateur. Here's what I don't like. I used to love watching the Olympics. I can't stand to watch it now. We take our professional athletes and go take on their people over there because it's about winning. It ain't about winning. And it's about our young people that are not professionals going competing against the best in the world. Mm-hmm. I don't care if they beat us. But our kids train hard and they go. But we send LeBron James over to play again in basketball.
It's a snoozer. You know what the outcome's going to be.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous.
If we would have done that, would have never had the Miracle on Ice. Would have never had all of these fantastic Olympic events that have happened in the past that created national pride. Now,
it's all about marketing. It's all about television. Television is absolutely controlled everything that we do. It's no different in college sports.
Yeah.
They tell you when to play, where to play, who to play, how many times you can play, and then they're going to pay you for it.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, I have followed this closely, and I have it documented in my mind. I haven't done a formal study and put it out, and I want to preface that by saying this. I'm a fair guy, and I pride myself on being a fair guy, but I can tell you when the worm turns.
Oh, my goodness.
I can tell you when the worm turns.
He's fair.
When Alabama University
of Alabama
became interested in Nick Saban, the going rate for a head football coach, a top rate head football coach, was about $2 million. That's what, and you know that. That's what the going rate was. They went to Saban and said, "Will you come coach Alabama University for $2 million?" And he said, "Absolutely not." And they said 3, and he said, "Absolutely not." They said 4, and he said, "Absolutely not." They got to 5, and he said yes. So they didn't hire him; they bought him for more than twice what the going rate was. Nobody's going to move their family to Tuscaloosa and live there and educate.
Are you a
them.
Russian? It's called the free market.
I'm just saying that's when it started. Wins became more important than the amateurism and the experience. And now we got
college football wins are important. It's in the Olympics about giving gold medals.
And now we have all these stadiums wasting money on Christmas lights and doing
you're a petition.
And I don't know what's going on there, but I know when it started.
Participation trophy.
It's not participation trophy. I want to get back to amateurism. I want to get back to the kids. I want to get back to the passion, the fan bases, and all this other stuff. It's just,
that's not going to happen as long as ESPN's involved and money's involved. When money gets involved, it's not going to be pure like you want it to be. Go to the YMCA if you want that.
Well, I tried to tell you that here 3 weeks ago, and you said that was not the case.
No, that's not what the conversation was.
Yes, it was.
Let's check tape, Ken.
I said there are certain teams that can lose games and they will not be penalized in the polls as much as other teams because it's a beauty contest.
Auburn's got 2 losses, and they're still in the top 15.
We're the best 2-loss team in the country. Wait, the top 15.
You can't have it both ways.
The top 15 in your poll. I ain't given my top 5 yet.
He's got a top 5, Coach.
Coach, everybody else has a poll. I got mine, and mine's the only one I worry about.
You refuse to give it.
I'm going to give
freely.
I'm going to give it, and you might be surprised at my top 5, but I want to transition away from that, Coach. Let's talk about what you have.
Let's go back to Nick Saban.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what he makes now, but it ain't enough.
It's 10.
That ain't paying him enough.
What does he generate for that
my
university?
Goodness. No, wait a minute. What does he generate for college football?
Exactly.
Whatever he's making, a lot of the guys ought to be sending him a paycheck. They've got some of these guys that can't win a game in college football in the conference or conference game that are making $4 or $5 million because they want to be relevant.
Yeah. See, when you started down that road about Saban's pay, he's happy Saban got that pay because it moved the ball for everybody.
I am too, but both of y'all are being selfish about it. Miss Terry wants to go to the lake. How come Miss Terry can't go spend her year at the lake? She's paid her dues. He needs to retire and take that lady to the lake, and that's why I need to stay.
I got news for you. He ain't going nowhere.
I'm sick of it.
You're sick of it.
I'm sick of it. He's proved his point. Take your wife to the lake and stay there.
He ain't won 7 out of 10.
It feels
so
like
take your lumps, pal.
It feels like
it's your time. I took my lumps when this guy right here was in Auburn. It's time for you to take your lumps.
How's Dennis
Suck it up and be a man.
How's Dennis Franchione doing, Coach?
I don't know what Dennis is doing now.
Is he still coaching?
I don't think so.
How many did you get over there? I know you got Dubose, you got Franchione, you got Pappy Price.
You got all the mics.
You got them all.
Well, yeah. And
then Mike.
And then Nick got me.
He's getting a bunch of them too, Coach.
Oh, yeah.
How good's that game going to be next week, them and LSU?
Oh, my goodness. I'm going.
Are you?
I'm going to the game. Yeah, I'm going to the game. I'm excited about it. I got some buddies of mine that want me to come over and visit with them, and I'm looking forward to it. LSU's good. They were better than I thought they were.
Yeah.
And just watching them against Auburn, their defense is better than what I thought. They give Auburn the pressure on the quarterback, and they're just good. They're not great, but they're good enough because they got a great offense. Auburn
got him a good quarterback. He's tough.
Auburn has got as good a defense, maybe the best in the country, because their defensive line, they really tackle well. And LSU had 500 yards on them.
Yeah.
If you can have 500 yards on a defense like that, you are pretty good. Now they got to go to Tuscaloosa, and that's going to be tough.
Burrow's probably the biggest surprise to me in college football in probably the last 5 or 10 years. I mean, because I just never would have thought.
He's tough, man.
I just never would have thought he just seemed like a game manager last year to me. And now he's come out and he's a difference
He's
maker.
a guy, you can tell they rally around him. They love him.
My comparison is, you remember this, Jason Campbell was very average until his senior year, 5th year. And
That's a good comparison.
It opened up. He ended up being a first-round draft pick. This kid will be a first-round draft pick.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun for him to watch. I tell you, he's tough. That lick he took last week, running to the first down marker.
Should have been flagged, Coach. Should have been flagged.
It should have been? You thought it was spearing or
for hitting? It looked a little cheap to me, but that's just me. I'm a Alabama fan.
Well,
do you want to try to predict that game? What do you think? I mean, I know you've been busy on the trail, and we're going to talk about
you're talking about LSU and Alabama?
Yeah.
Well, if they've got 2, I think Alabama wins the ball game by 10 points. I just don't know whether they can play. as good. You know,
I'm having some interference. I'm not.
Some of the wise guys that put lines out for entertainment purposes right now, not knowing where Tua's playing or not, it's got Bama favored by 9.5, and some things.
Without him,
yeah, with an unknown.
Yeah,
I've got LSU
I don't
by
see
7.
it. I just don't see Alabama's defense being.
The thing that Tua does is he extends plays and he gives those receivers a chance to get a little bit deeper down in mid-level routes. And those, I tell you what, those kids, all 4 of them, they'll catch it and running crossing routes, and that's the toughest thing for a kid that age is to catch that thing across the middle, running full speed, and not worried about getting the heck knocked out of
Them
them.
boys are going to make a lot of money one day.
Yeah,
They
can do it.
This might be a good opportunity, Coach. You have somebody crossing the party lines. You have a Democrat from Demopolis that says he's voting for you.
Hey,
How about that?
Hallelujah.
Hey, Democrats can vote twice, can't they?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Of course, you out barnstorming the state 6 days a week, leave Sunday open, of course, for church and the family, and certainly respect that. But talk about how you got into this, what made you get into this, why'd you want to get into this, and also understand coaching at Auburn gives you a lot of political experience
Well,
that people have to deal with there.
it's a lot of politics in the SEC. That's the truth. You know, my dad died on active duty in the military.
Didn't
I
know
was
that.
a Patriot. Yep, died at 53. Fought in World War II, drove a tank all the way across Europe with 5 Bronze Stars and Purple Heart. I grew up in a military family. He loved the country, and he taught me and my brother and sister to love the country the way he did. And 1972, I turned 18. That's the year they stopped the draft. I had a draft number. Vietnam was winding down. My brother was in the military, so I never served. And so I get into coaching, go 40 years, and I told my wife, there's something missing in my life. I haven't give back. And so this is it's not near what the military people give, but it's my way of giving back to this country because it's given me so much. So I'm doing this for the right reason. I'm a politician's worst nightmare. I don't need the job. I want the job. I don't need the money. I'm giving my money that I make to the veterans of the state of Alabama.
Wow.
And I'm not going to be politically correct. I'm sick of that. You know, there's a double standard in this country and politically correctness in this country. That's wrong.
Well, you're proving that by being on this program.
Yeah. And I'm a fan of the Constitution. It has saved this country many, many times. We've lived 243 years because of it. And there's nothing in that Constitution that says that you can't be offended. You know,
Sure.
Not to be rude, but if you're wrong, that Constitution doesn't say that somebody can't call you out. And you know, I don't know if you know this, being politically correct, you can now get on an airplane. Did y'all know this? With a horse up to 250 pounds.
Wait, do what? What?
Yeah, it is legal. Our great transportation department in Washington, D.C., the bureaucrats said that, you know, if a horse makes you feel comfortable, you can...
A horse?
A horse. 250 pounds. They've had videos of them. You know, it's got to be obviously a miniature horse, but up to 250 pounds, you got to buy the ticket.
I could get half a Tony on one then.
Well, 3/4.
A horse?
So think about that.
Will they let jackasses on, Coach?
That's a good one. But think about that, guys.
Well, I got one.
Now, just think about where have we gone in this country?
That is, I've never heard that. That's absurd.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, there's I don't even know what her name is, but it's AOC. I've heard her spout some of the dumbest, most idiotic things that I would be sitting there with my 9-year-old son. He'd look at me. He'd say, "Is she for real? Is she really?" I said, "Yes, son."
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what we have up there. So,
And you're asking me why I'm running?
Yeah.
That's why I'm running.
Well-
we have lost it in this country. And if we don't stop it, and if we don't get control of Washington, D.C., we got all these career politicians that go up there that want to get reelected and stay and get a paycheck and get elected again. And you know, if they had a scoreboard in Congress, like we do on a football field, and put their score up there, they wouldn't be up there half the time they're up there. They'd be gone. We'd send them back home. But there's no score. They don't, you know, there's nothing that they really accomplish other than making a vote that might count on something. Very few of them put bills up. And right now they're not doing anything other than trying to impeach probably the best president we've had in our lifetime.
amen. I mean, the Dow's hit a historic high, and they're trying to tear him down. Jobs are abundant and crazy, and they're trying to tear him down. I mean, what do these people want? What do they want?
If you got a complaint about Donald Trump, he's created too many jobs and we don't have enough workers. You know, that's exactly what he's done. He has absolutely put everybody that'll work back to work, and we've got to get back in our education system and start training kids to work with their hands.
Well, I'm in the construction business industry, and there is a major shortage of that, and which can be a good thing and a bad thing because I'm in the management side of it, and so there's a lot of building, there's a lot of money being invested, there's a lot of things going because of the administration that we have here. When I heard that you were running, I have family ties with Auburn. We talked about my parents that do the drug collection, which Coach said, hi, Mike and Barbara Jean, but I thought, finally, common sense is going to have a voice, and people with morals, the common sense factor, is going to have somebody that they can put up there that will speak for them. And the ads that you've been putting out, I've been sharing, they're spot on. I mean, if I were writing ads and I was running, you're saying exactly what I would say. And it's not about excluding people. It's about common sense, doing the right thing, everybody pull together to make America great.
Well, my thoughts on this run is simple. It's like building a football team. This country has lost its fundamentals. We've lost them. And the fundamentals of blocking and tackling for a football team, you can't win without it. And we can't win in this country unless we put God, family, and education back in play. They're being under attack. Christianity's under attack. Family is broken. We're paying families to stay apart. In the education system, we've got some good teachers, good administrators, but we're teaching things to our kids that are socialistic, and they want to change their minds. You know, 70% of the kids voted a few days ago, millennials. 70% of millennials voted that socialism is better than capitalism.
That's scary.
And 30% of them voted that communism is better than what we have.
That's scary.
And they're learning that in these schools. And if we don't stop that, we're not going to make it as a country.
Well, you know, you made a comment earlier tonight. I was listening to you talk to some of the folks there in attendance, and you were saying that, you know, the issues with the guns or the drugs or whatever, none of it matters if we don't get God back into the picture at the forefront. None of that matters. All that takes care of itself if the priorities fall in line and get where they need to be. And I don't think any truer words have ever been spoken by anybody. I mean, that's just the truth, regardless of who you're going to vote for or certainly what team you pull for. That's the truth. That has to start there, and then things can fall in line. But when you're out of balance, you're out of balance.
Yeah,
we've lost it in terms of respect. You know, or would you be a law enforcement officer now?
No, sir.
absolutely not.
No, sir.
I mean, the men and women that do it because they want to do it for this country and their community. But my goodness, folks, I mean, we're losing them at a record pace. They're being shot, and there's nothing said about it. And, you know, I saw today where last year we had $36 billion of fraud in Medicare.
Wow.
$36 billion. Do you hear anybody in Washington, D.C. trying to come up with an answer for that? Huh?
No, sir.
We had 70,000 people last year die of overdose in this country. And they're worried about Donald Trump making a phone call to Ukraine.
Yeah.
And we got all this going on, and we're broke, $22 trillion in debt. Medicare is broke, Social Security is broke, and there's nobody want to fix anything. All they want to do is go for a paycheck and get on television. I'm sick of watching it. I really am.
Coach,
and that's the reason I'm running.
They're going to love you in Washington.
Oh, yeah, they're going to love me, all right.
We love you in Alabama,
Yeah.
and we need to put you there. We absolutely need to put you there.
You know, it's going good. I was a little bit surprised how we came out with a 4 or 5 point lead. Now we're up to 20 points, and it's going good. It's resonating. People are tired of career politicians. I'm not anything special. I'm just like everybody out there listening to this. Hey, I'm just like y'all. I mean, I don't need this job. I want to go for y'all because I want the people of Alabama to have a voice, not somebody up there that's taking money from special interests. And that's exactly what's happening.
I'll be honest with you, and I would be completely cool with this. If all the old school coaches took over all the positions, we'd be better off for it. You could get Spurrier. Could you imagine Spurrier, Saban, Tubbs? I'd even put Chiz in there.
How about Jackie Sherrill?
Well,
Let's don't
maybe
go that
not.
far.
Let's don't push it, Coach.
Well, we put Spurrier over the Air Force. Is that what we do?
Oh, yeah.
Make him
Yeah.
command
Yeah,
Air
yeah.
Command?
Yeah, let's leave
I'm going
Jackie.
to tell you something. I could go right now and get 20 or 30 men and women college coaches that's handled programs, that's done it the right way, that know how to communicate and know how to work with people. And we could take 20, 30, maybe 40 up there and make a huge difference in this country.
When you said that earlier about your background, it hit a spot with me. Is how perfect would that be to have somebody with that kind of background like you've got and the common sense that you got, what I call horse sense.
Yeah,
that's what you need. Things are overcomplicated up there, and we need people with work ethic who know how to build a team and know how to make that team function properly.
Who've had a job.
Yeah.
People up there, they've never had jobs.
Exactly.
They sit behind a desk and get their news from a newspaper and watch television, and then, this is what we need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, if you think about it, one of the things that we love to say at the elementary school level and the high school level is have our kids involved in athletics because of the lessons it teach. And one of the things we've gotten away from, I feel like a little bit, is letting them learn those lessons. Not all the lessons are good lessons. Some of it's adversity. Some of it's getting your nose bloody. Some of it's losing.
From losing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Winning.
Let them have the experience. Let them have the journey. Understanding bumps and bruises are going to be a part of it. And then when you take people who have played and coached and the different people that, whether it's student athletes, whether it's their family members, in all walks of life, the people you get to work with, coaches really do make good government leaders. I mean, they've had it. That's any of them.
It's all about leadership.
Yeah,
it's all about leadership.
Absolutely.
Leadership is just getting people to do sometimes something that they don't want to do. Convincing them it's the right thing to do, and then putting a work ethic behind it. It's not that hard. I mean, it's pretty simple. The problem we're running into now is a lot of these people in Washington, D.C. have come from Never Land.
Yeah.
I mean, what they're talking about, first of all, you don't understand what they're talking about or where they're coming from. Look at California. Mm-hmm. You want to look and see what a socialistic country is going to look like? Just look at those folks. I mean, they're broke. I mean, we have to bail them out every few years nationally. They won't let the power companies dig a hole to where they can put their lines underneath the ground because they're afraid they'll hurt a tree. But those lines bump together in these Santa Ana winds of 70 miles an hour. They create sparks, and it burns down 100,000 acres.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got no leadership out there. They're all trying to outdo each other and something free. And
you reap what you sow, Coach.
Yeah.
You reap what you sow. And you hate to say it, but a lot of that is them reaping what they sow out there. I mean, it's just the government's dysfunctional. The state government out there is dysfunctional, and there are too many special interest groups, and it's not a team. And America as a whole, from what I see, and I try not, it aggravates me, so I try not to watch too much news and stuff, but America as a whole is there's too many special interests, there's too many groups, there's too many of this. Let's all come together and be Americans, and let's be on the same team.
The problem is now is what we're running into in our lifetime is we got people that want to change this country as to what we are. I mean, they want to transform America.
Well, and
you heard the last president say that. That was his agenda. I want to transform America, and tried to do it. Didn't work. Now we got a guy in there right now that says, hey, we're going to get back to the nuts and bolts of this country and get back on the right track, cut taxes, put people back to work, and get along. And of course, the people on the left are not going to have that. They want it their way, and we've run into a stone wall.
Well, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I can tell you,
you agree with that?
I concur.
Okay.
You're talking about socialists and communists. I mean, they apparently did not do any history or read any history.
We don't teach it anymore.
Because every socialist, every communist regime or government or whatever you want to call it has failed. It's collapsed. It can't survive. And I don't know why we would take a country as beautiful as America with the system it has, with all its flaws, and try to turn it into something that's inevitably going to fail.
That's the reason they want to take our guns. They don't want to take them because somebody might get shot here or there or hunting, and they think it's dangerous. They want the government wants to take it out of your hand where you can't defend yourself when all heck breaks loose, because it's coming if we don't get control of it. And we put the Second Amendment in there so we could defend ourselves when the government got too big for its britches. Well, it's coming, and so we want to make sure that you look at them every day. Hey, something about guns. We want to take a little bit of this way. If you start down a slippery slope of changing anything in the Constitution, it's going to be over. That's the only things that save us, the Constitution, the last 243 years. And they're trying to chip away at it every day, and we got one guy fighting for it, and that's Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, we're less than 300 years away from the Constitution, and look how far we've gotten and how much it's eroding or trying to be chipped away, like you just said. That's sad. In the span of time of history, I mean, you talk about history, you go back thousands of years, 300 years or 243 years is not that far, and we're a totally different country than our founding fathers, I think set out to try to create.
Yeah, we're a better country in a lot of ways because we've got more. Look at what our kids have grown up with.
I mean,
we didn't grow up with this, the technology and the things that they have the opportunity to do. I think it's great. The millennials get a bad rap because that's not a good generation. That's a great generation. They just got more than what we had. They just got to learn to handle it, and I think they will. Hopefully we can give them a country that they can be proud of where they can make it even better.
Well, that's what I'm scared. I got one in college and one a freshman and one in the fourth grade. And my concern is when I'm old and gone, what are they going to do and what's this country going to look like for them?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that's the reason we got to fight for it. We got to fight every day, and we can't give in to the people on the left. We got to fight for people that are fighting for our republic and try to do it the right way. They asked me, so what makes you qualified for a senator? I said, let me think here a little bit. I've coached 40 years over thousands of kids, try to make them better, teach them leadership and communication skills, and try to make them a better person. Work together. I've worked in middle class home, or worked with middle class homes, high class homes, poor homes. Work with drugs, mental health, and I do all that, and I got to win games.
Yeah.
Now, what are these folks up there in D.C., what's their qualifications? Because they went to school and got a law degree, and it gives them the right to say that they can run our country. Some of them can, a lot of them can't. There's a guy in Georgia that was a business guy. His name David Perdue. He's in the Senate. We got Tom Cotton from Arkansas. He was a Army Ranger. Now he's in. Those are the type of people we need. People that's actually been out in the public and know what's going on. I'm an educator, and so we've got to get away from sending the people up there that just wants a job and just wants to, say they're in the club and want to go up there forever. And if we don't stop that, we're not going to make it.
One of the things, with the journey that you're on, of course, is momentum. And one of the things I read very recently, and I was excited for you in your camp, is the endorsement that you got from Alpha.
It was awesome.
I mean, that's a big one here in the state of Alabama to get those guys on board and get them believing in your message. Talk about that and how important it was to get that. Did you think you could get it? Was it gettable, or was that somewhat of a surprise? Talk about that just a little bit, Coach.
When I got in this back in mid-April, we decided as a group, hey, let's go after this Alpha endorsement. It's going to be hard because we got a congressman that's running, and he's made a few good votes here and there, all those things put together. But we have 67 counties in the state. We have 67 different clubs that Alpha, they get together. I tried to make as many as I could. I mean, day and night, you drive and make 2 in a day. And then when it all came down to it, you have a meeting in Montgomery and you got to give a 10-minute spiel to 140 of the top people in Alpha. And then they make a decision. And I just hoping to say that they wasn't going to endorse anybody at the end of the day. Stay out of it. They gave it to me. And they basically said, Coach, your polling is huge. You've worked hard. People trust you. We're going to see that you get elected. And they're behind us 100%. And, they're the grassroots people. They're not the city folk.
Right.
They're grassroots and they work and they're hurting right now with the tariffs that we have. The farmers are cut back on what they're getting for their crops. But, I didn't talk to one in my entire time going around these places that wasn't behind Donald Trump, knowing that he's the one putting the tariffs on, but they're behind him because they know he's trying to do better for them in the future. And so that made you feel good about these people that work hard 7 days a week and they know their outcome. They can't control the weather nor the price, but they're behind the guy that's trying to help them. And it was a lot of fun just listening to them.
Well, Coach, I got sent a text. It's a picture. I don't know if you can see it or not. There's a bunch of 9 and 10-year-olds sitting around watching you talk about America in the future, and that's that's what we need to be concerned about.
Are they eating candy? They got to be eating candy.
We had trick or treat party.
Oh yeah,
and all that good stuff.
Caramel
so
apples and all that.
They'll be all sugared up.
Popcorn balls. You remember those?
Stuck in my teeth.
Some people would put popcorn. They put that Karo syrup. Mix it and make balls out of it. The popcorn.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
You ain't that dang.
Well,
you're older than you.
But I'm from Bruton, so.
Bruton. Yeah, you're from Bruton. You didn't have corn popcorn. There they are. Take a picture. Oh yeah.
In the background. Anyway, so that and I hope
that's what it's about.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I hope that the polls go in your favor. You certainly got my vote. And it needs somebody up there with some common sense. And you said all the things that you needed to say earlier that can bring a diverse group of people together and make it work.
Well, it's not about one person. It's about everybody in this country.
Yeah.
And if you're not proud, if you live in this country, you when you were born here, you hit the lottery.
Yeah,
that's right.
Because there's no place even close to what we have here. I've been all over the world. I've been around this country several times, met people. A lot of people are mad at this country because they don't think they were given the right chance to be successful. No. You got a chance. You might have to work harder. I grew up poor. I didn't have anything. And for me to be a college head football coach, win National Coach of the Year honors, and then have a chance to run for U.S. Senate in your country, I mean, it ain't because somebody gave it to me.
Yeah.
I didn't take many days off in the last 40, 50 years.
Right.
I worked.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. Take advantage of your opportunities. And if they work out, they work out. If not, just put your nose to the grindstone and keep going again.
Exactly
just work
right.
harder.
Well, Coach,
exactly right.
when you get in and you get entrenched, if we need an ambassador to the Ukraine, I'd like to throw my name in the hat. I had a bad experience with a mail order bride, and I have a little bit of money tied up over there. So
she deflated at the airport, Coach.
So if you can get
deflated or melted, which one?
If you
I
can get
want
me appointed to the Ukraine for an ambassadorship, I got some wrongs over there I need to right. I actually remodeled my home.
The question is, do you have a passport?
Not yet, Coach. My travel corridor is between Destin, Florida, and Auburn. I'll have to get some paperwork in place to make that travel, but I need to right some wrongs over in the Ukraine.
He don't want to stress the Ford Pinto too much. He usually keeps it on 65 to 85, and that's about it.
It doesn't float like some of those floating cars.
No.
Pinto. How about that? I hadn't heard of a Ford Pinto in a long time.
Oh, he's got one.
Remember the Corvair?
Yeah, I do.
You remember the Vega?
Corvair had the motor in the back, right?
Yeah. Corvair, the Vega.
Oh, belt driven. I think that thing was almost belt driven.
My dad had a Vega.
What was your first car?
My first car was a Fiero.
Year.
1985.
Winning.
Silver, wasn't it?
What was yours?
Mine was a Toyota bucket seat pickup truck, SR5. It was my dad's old part delivery. It was probably like an 82 or 83. No air conditioner, sliding back, 2 windows, CB.
Mine was a 73 Ford Mustang.
Ford Mustang, I hear you,
blue, with a real dark blue final top. And
shag interior?
It was $3,200, and I said, I'll never get this thing paid for.
That was a lot of money.
Oh, man, a lot of money. I had to, I worked weekends.
Were you coaching then?
No, heck no. I was in college, and I bought it, and I thought I was going to pay for it by working on weekends, and my payment was $102 a month. Man, that was
which is a steak dinner now.
Oh, that was big money back then.
Yeah, it's not now.
My mom
unfortunately.
goes, "You did what? You did what?" She said, "Mom, I'm 21." Yeah, you're 21. 21-year-olds still have to pay those bills. Yeah. I ain't paying it, and so
time to be an adult.
Yeah,
got that bill now.
Guess who ended up paying for it? My mom.
Mama paid for it?
Oh, yeah. Because I got to a point where I couldn't pay for it. wasn't enough hours on the weekend working for $275 an hour to pay for it.
Well, I think you've overcome that and done well for yourself. You are the American dream, and if anybody knows what it takes and should be in Washington to lead people and help other people achieve the American dream, it's certainly somebody like you, Coach.
All right, so let's go now. Let's go back to the LSU-Alabama game.
Okay. You said Bama by 10, regardless who plays.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I didn't.
I just put that.
I did not. Yeah.
I'm just getting you prepped for CNN interviews.
Well, Alabama. I think Bama will win if Tua is ready. Now he's not going to be healthy till May. I've been around those. Your worst nightmare on the sideline is when your better players goes down, and then you'll see the trainer coming at you. You'll catch him at the corner of your eye, and you don't want to look at him because you don't want to look at whether he's smiling or frowning.
Yeah.
And he gets to you. And he goes, high ankle sprain. And your heart just drops.
And your mind races?
Mine didn't.
Because not too long ago, it was 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, before you can get out of a boot, I mean, it's pretty much like breaking your ankle.
We had Jeff Allen, the head trainer of Alabama, on the show, and he, of course, Tua had the same type of injury last year.
And I tried to tell him to put him on ice to get him ready for the NFL draft.
You did tell him to rest him.
I said rest him. I begged him to rest him.
Yeah,
you did.
It is. I mean, it's
and Jeff talked a little bit about that. What they can do now medically is amazing.
Jimmy Andrews invented it. And those two bones, what they do is they separate, and you tear that membrane.
Yeah,
and it's painful. And they put that wire in there, and they pull them back together. And the kid's going to be able to play. He ain't a kid; he's a man playing this sport, but he's going to be, I mean, it's not going to be comfortable running around. He's going to have some pain.
You think he'll run him out there for LSU? Would you, if you were in that position?
Oh, it's not going to hurt him anymore. I mean, he's just got to be able to stand what he's going to go through, because, it's not going to be able to stand in that pocket. You're LSU, he's going to get out of that pocket.
You're going to make him run.
Yeah, you're going to make him get out.
So if you're Saban, and now you've got the 14 playoff to contend, which you didn't have that when you were still coaching, right?
No. Okay. We caused the 14 playoff.
Y'all had the BCS and
when we didn't get in 2004, 10 years later, it took 10 years to get to that 2014.
So do you think the way it's formatted now, Coach, it would make coaches think differently about things? Because just let me run this scenario by you, and you put yourself as being an Alabama coach. You got this situation going on, and LSU's now the number one team. So do you risk playing him and hurting him for the rest of the season, or do you bring Mac Jones in, try to keep it close, and if you lose, hope you don't fall out of the top four?
You're not going to fall out because it's Bama privilege.
I mean, dude,
you're not. You're not going to fall out.
They've been saying this Bama
You're not going to fall out.
Well, I mean, you're on the right track. You don't want to put him in and he then miss 3 or 4 other games.
Right.
You want to make sure he's healthy. The biggest thing, let me get up close.
That's going to be the hardest thing for him.
The biggest thing as a coach, and of course we all a little different, and I don't know, I'm not telling them what's going to happen. First of all, you got to think about the player. Can he defend himself? Because he's getting ready to play some boys on the other side that can play ball.
Yeah,
that can get after him.
Different than Arkansas.
Yeah. And so he's got to be able to protect himself and get out of harm's way. And if he can't, it's going to be awfully tough. Other than, you can do a lot of 3-step drops, get the ball off, hand it off.
Well, they can throw that slant now. That's one thing they can do.
I'm telling you, throw it as good as anybody I've ever seen.
Did you get a chance to see Mac Jones against Arkansas?
I didn't. I'm not a big on. I think I was listening to it on the radio.
Coach don't care about Arkansas. Okay, never did.
Well,
he's from there.
Yeah,
he was never going there.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. That was men against boys. Right? I saw some replays of it.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for boys down there. They're having a tough time at Arkansas. But I thought Matt Jones did good.
I thought he looked posed. He made some decent throws. I thought he looked good. He didn't look that good when he come in relief for Tua when he got hurt.
All right, Coach, I want to ask you this, and I'm very scared you're going to answer this the way I don't want you to, but answer it however you want. If Alabama is not the SEC West champion, and if they're not the SEC champion, then how in the heck can you be the national champion?
You win the game.
You shouldn't be in a beauty contest. You shouldn't be in. It's called Bama privilege. You got the most prestigious championship in college football is the SEC championship because it's earned on the field. None of these jackasses vote you in. You got to go out and get it done on the field.
But at the end of the day, the system is made to have the 4 best teams at the end of the year, not record-wise.
Thank you, Coach.
I don't go by record on the. You're right. Now you want to win that conference championship because that automatically gets you in, but you also want to be one of the 4 best teams at the end of the day, so you can get in to have to run that round robin. Look,
If Bama's got a loss and Oregon's got a loss, who are you going to put in?
If Auburn wins the rest of their games, they beat Georgia, they beat Alabama, and LSU. Is Auburn one of the 4 best teams?
Are they going to win the SEC championship?
No, we're not going to be in it.
Oh, okay. LSU's going to be in it. Yeah, Auburn. If Auburn beats Georgia, if Auburn runs the rest of the way and they're 10-2. I think they'll have a chance.
I'm with you then.
Yeah.
Coach. All right, good enough.
Can't do that.
We got to.
Did you say can't do that?
All right, we're going to close things out. And Coach, I'm gonna run through my top 5. You've been an analyst. I want you to kind of think what you think of it. I do the top 5 every week. I think there's 2 teams that are separated from the pack.
I start with 5 and work up.
I'll start
I can
with
tell
5.
you one won't be in it.
5 is Penn State, national power, perennial. I love James Franklin. I think the world of him. Runs a class program. I have Penn State at number 5.
Just take a nap, Trip. This ain't even worth listening to.
I have Oregon at number 4. Oregon lost a tough game in the opener. Since then, they have played lights out. They have been amazing. They have, probably the best quarterback prospect in college football, and that's going to be proven in the NFL draft next spring. Number 3, I have.
What timeout? I called that on the August 22nd show.
You did. Number 3, I have Clemson, the defending mythical national champions. I don't think they've showed it on the field necessarily, but I'm going to have them 3. And then the 2 teams that have distanced themselves from the pack that are playing at a different level week in and week out. Number 2, Ohio State. Number 1, LSU. What do you think?
He had Oklahoma in there last week, 2 weeks ago.
Did you have Alabama in there?
No, he didn't. He never does.
But I'm going to tell you why, Coach.
I tell you why. To aggravate me and everybody else from out
I don't
Alabama.
like cupcakes. I don't eat cupcakes, much less play them week in and week out.
You used to eat
They don't have it. If you put their resume up in front of you, there are no quality wins, Coach. And
If cupcakes were keto friendly,
there's not a quality win on there.
Now, if they beat LSU
Yes.
and Auburn, they're going to move.
If they beat LSU, I could see them jumping as high as 6.
Come on, man.
But we'll cross that bridge.
When
if
you
we
get up
to
there,
it.
can you send like a bunch of money for mental health for Escambia County for guys like him?
Yeah, you
Please.
didn't have Oklahoma in there.
Of
course, they're not.
No, well, they got beat.
I had them at 4 last week, and then they fell to Kansas.
He probably had Auburn sitting at 6. He just didn't want to say it.
All right, go ahead. Let me hear yours.
I don't
He
do
doesn't
top
have
5.
Well, you can do it
because
tonight.
I'm realistic.
You can do it tonight. Let's go.
Alabama first string, Alabama second string, Clemson.
Alabama scout team. And Alabama's recruits, the commitment.
Alabama's commitments for 2025.
See, I'm a fair guy, Coach. Anyway,
Albert Means.
yeah.
What kind of team is Florida?
They're good.
They're going to be really good.
I think they're good. I like the quarterback.
They're going to beat Georgia?
They're not.
We're doing picks.
They're not.
That's my pick.
Who are you picking?
What team are you? We do a pick too, and what are we? We're
You talking about pick of the week? You do one game pick of the week.
and we compete against each other.
I think I'm 6-2, and
Against
he's
the spread.
3-5.
No, we're tied. Don't get twisted. I had Florida. Florida's getting 6.5.
Well, y'all pick the spread. Y'all don't just do it head up.
Yeah, we go against the spread, but I think Florida's going to beat them outright.
I'm going to take the Auburn Tigers. Bounce back win. A little adversity up on the plains.
Auburn playing Ole Miss. I hope you would.
18.5.
Yeah.
19
it's
and
18
some.
and a half.
18.5. Yes, sir.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
I mean, one twist ankle and you got Cord Sandberg and they're running the read option 50 times a game.
I took him one other time, Coach. 2002.
I hadn't
Thanks
seen
a lot.
I hadn't seen much in much of Ole Miss here. I don't. Of course, they've had devastating
Second leading rushing attack in the SEC.
second leading.
Rushing to the averaging 232 yards on the ground a game.
They run that 2 quarterback system.
We're going to smash them.
A lot of it's
They want to
quarterback.
have 125 against Auburn.
I don't think so.
Not against that defense.
Hope not.
Okay, we'll find out.
Coach, we appreciate you spending some time with us. I know you're a busy man, but this was awesome to have you here. Certainly want to thank Ken James, the executive producer, for getting it out. Also want to throw a big shout out to Heath Jackson, our sheriff. When we tried to put this together, I called Heath and said, can you put us in contact with anybody that might work Coach's schedule? He put us up with a trip, and it happened in literally 3 minutes. If you need help around here, you call Heath Jackson.
Boy, Heath, he's a young guy.
He is. He's great. He is a top-notch, first-class guy.
I've traveled this state and talked to sheriffs, and I'm amazed. They put a team together of guys that don't make $14, $15 an hour.
Yeah.
We talked earlier.
Yeah.
Man, what a group of people that you got to take your hat off to.
Heath comes from a good family, got a good mom and dad, and he's a good man. He's a good man. Jimmy Sexton, he's still your agent?
I fired him a long time ago.
Could you recommend us too?
Yeah. Jimmy,
We want some of that saving money too.
I was Jimmy's first client.
He had like everybody in the SEC at one time, didn't he?
In 1994, I take the job at Ole Miss, and I get a call from a buddy of mine in Memphis. He said, listen, Jimmy Sexton wants to come help you with the contract. I said, for what? He said, he wants to be your agent. He thinks that there's going to be a big need for agents in college football. He had
Wow.
Yeah, he had Reggie White and a couple of guys, but he wasn't in college football. Nobody knew anything about agents. And so I said, yeah, Tim, come on down. What's he going to charge me? He said, nothing. So he come down, and I think I made $250,000 in 1994. Had a 3-year contract, 250, 260, 270. And I don't know. I told my wife, where are we going to spend all this money? And yeah, really. And
I'll show you.
And yeah. And so he comes in and does it. And I said, man, that's pretty neat. And he got in it, and he got Spurrier, and of course he had Nick and Frank Beamer, and now he's into assistants that make $2 million.
Golly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we have our leadership team put together for the future. Me, you, Saban, Spurrier. Would we put Sexton on it?
Yeah, we might do that.
Okay.
We might do
I
that.
like how you ingratiated yourself in there.
We might do that.
Talk fast and back up quick. All right, well, that's
Thank
great.
you, Coach.
This has been good.
Pleasure meeting you. I enjoyed it.
It's a good way to waste an hour, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Be looking for Coach Tommy Tuberville on the circuit throughout the state of Alabama.
Hey, TommyForSenate.com. Just go on there, read about it. Yeah, TommyForSenate.com. It's a good website, and I think you'll enjoy it. And it's about our platform and all those things.
We'll get the link put up on our site as well.
We're going to put us on there. Tripp, did you get a picture of this? Yes, sir. This lineup. Okay, good.
And tell Alpha we're looking for sponsors.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Y'all need an Alpha up there in the corner of your screen.
We can do it.
Yeah.
For about $80,000.
We have a lot of space.
Yeah. We need a Tommy for Senate up there.
We can do that too.
We can do that too.
Yeah.
We can do it.
I don't have any money.
It'll be small then.
That'd be real.
Awesome. Want to thank everybody for being in with us. Have a great weekend. Hope most of your teams win. Be safe, and we'll see y'all next week.
Have a safe Halloween.
War Eagle.
Roll Tide.